Hello and welcome to the art room. This week we're going to talk about pumpkins and polka dots. I want to introduce you to the artist Yayoi Kusama. She's a Japanese artist and she's known for creating some amazing pumpkin artwork. Sometimes she creates small pictures. Sometimes she creates gigantic sculptures. Miss Kusama grew up in Japan and her family grew crops there. And she remembers a particular time when her family had a storehouse full of pumpkins. This is an important memory to her from her childhood, and she was always grateful for the supply of those pumpkins in her family. And so Miss Kusama continues to express her gratitude through her artwork with pumpkins. She's also known as the Polka-Dot Princess. Miss Kusama uses polka dots in a lot of her artwork, not just on pumpkins, but also in some of her paintings. In fact, if she's not using polka dots, she's probably using something else in repetition. That means that she's using it in a pattern over and over. So today we're going to practice drawing a pumpkin. We're going to make it look like it has 3 dimensions, like it's rounded. And we're going to practice some different ways to use our polka dots. One other thing that Miss Kusama knows as like a signature, something that represents her, is something she calls the infinity net, which is this spider web kind of look in the background of her pictures. And I thought this is just a great thing to put all together today for our lesson. The supplies you'll need is a piece of paper and your crayons. If you have watercolors, that's an option, but it's not necessary. I'll show you a special technique with them at the end of the lesson if you're interested in that. All right, I wanted to show you this pumpkin that I have. This is one of my kids' pumpkins. I thought it's so neat because it has its own pattern. It looks like kind of that digital camo pattern, doesn't it? One of the things that I wanted to show you on this pumpkin was that it has these ridges, these rings where it's grown. And if you look at these rings, they're smaller at the top and they get wider as they go down, and then they begin to get smaller again towards the bottom. We're going to try to draw something that's small at the top, wider as it goes down, and smaller at the bottom, so that our paper looks realistically like a pumpkin. Then we're going to add polka dots and it won't look realistic at all, but we'll at least start that way. All right, here's my paper. I would like for you to start out by choosing one color. It doesn't have to be the same color that your pumpkin is. It can be whatever color you want. I'm going to start with orange. The first thing I want you to do is put your paper side to side or horizontal. So not vertical, but side to side, horizontal. We're going to look at the top of our paper, put 2 fingers towards the top, and I want you to start your crayon right there. This is going to be the tip top of our pumpkin. Draw a little tiny circle. And then draw 2 small lines coming down from that circle. This is going to be the stem on our pumpkin. All right, make a small little curved circle underneath there. And then let's start on the body of our pumpkin. Watch me first and listen. I'm going to start in the middle and I'm going to draw a curved line towards the bottom, and I'm going to decide how tall I want my pumpkin to be. And then I'm going to go back up the other side, kind of like an oval. My oval is pointed on the ends, but it's kind of the shape of an oval. All right, it's your turn. You draw an oval on your paper. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start back at the top. We're going to draw a wider line, but we're still going to connect it at the same place. And we're going to do it the same on the other side. Your pumpkin's starting to grow. We're going to continue to do that as wide as we want our pumpkins to be. I think I'm going to make mine one more. Now we have a pumpkin with the ridges, just like the one that we had in real life. I would like for you to try one of Miss Kusama's polka dot pumpkins with me. But you may also try some other things on your pumpkins. Let's do this first section together, and then you guys can choose how you want to fill in the rest of your pumpkin. Miss Kusama uses different size polka dots. She uses big polka dots. Draw a big one on your paper. She uses tiny polka dots. Draw a tiny one on your paper. And she uses medium-sized polka dots, so somewhere in the middle. Go ahead and fill this section with big polka dots, small polka dots, and medium-sized polka dots. All right. Miss Kusama also uses polka dots in a pattern. So let's try that on our next sections. How about these medium-sized polka dots in a line? I like to do the same on both sides. This is called symmetrical. It's not. I have to. It's just a kind of fun thing. All right, for this next section, I want you to come up with a pattern. Maybe you want to do a zigzag. Maybe you want to keep doing polka dots. Maybe you have something totally different in mind. This pattern is up to you. All right, we have one more space to fill. What can you think of to fill this space? Maybe look at some of these pictures by Miss Kusama and see if you see another pattern that she has that you would like to create. I'm going to try this. She has these this kind of reminds me of doing her splashes. She has some shapes kind of like this. They're wavy and curvy. All right, we've added pattern and polka dots to our pumpkin. The next thing we're going to do is add something to the background. Remember, we talked about this infinity net that Miss Kusama put in the background of her pictures. She simply drew lines. So let's start together. Draw a line anywhere. And now cross over it with another line. And then connect those lines again. And let's draw another line. And then let's connect it back to the lines we just drew. And now let's connect it to our pumpkin. Do you see how we're just adding shapes to our picture, one line at a time? Each time I'm letting this line connect back to the line that I drew before. This we don't need to rush. We'll take our time doing. We'll go all around our pumpkin, just creating these lines. I see that we're making triangles and rectangles. This could be your finished project if you would like. I want to show you one more thing though. If you have watercolors, here's one other thing that you could do. This is called an oil resist. Just going to take a little bit of my watercolor. Let's see, what color? I'm going to do a blue. I'm going to paint right over the top of my other lines. Because the oil from the crayon doesn't want to mix with the water in my watercolor, it resists, and I can still see both my crayon and my watercolor. And there we have it, our polka dot pumpkin with an infinity net. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Enjoy your pumpkins, and I'll see you again next week.